Holy smokes, folks, we're back in the booth. Yes, sir, yes, sir. Billy Mills Curran here, Billy Deck C, coming back for round three
Run
and
BMC, as we call them.
Run BMC. I'm joined by a OG member of LobsterCon, Jared Doucette. Can you tell us what's going on here and what you have to do with this?
Oh, well, this year it's a little bit less than normal, but basically mostly running hawking raffle tickets and running the raffle as best we can, trying to raise money for this charity Room to Grow. We've had great success in the years past. Hopefully, we're going to repeat that again this year. We got some really cool prizes that have been raffled off yesterday and a whole new batch today, which has been wonderful. And just got my fanny pack going on. I could put that off screen. Guess I don't need that there. But it's just been just trying to coordinate things and make things run smooth. It's all about the player experience at LobsterCon. We're glad that with the streams have been going so well, but the in-person people here are what we really specialize in, and it's just really special to like see everyone come out for this.
Jared is being modest and is not taking as much credit as he deserves. He is one of the two original players from the Boston area, New England Old School, who founded LobsterCon. So this year we've got a split situation going on. We're doing an old school in a few months, but today we're doing pre-modern. And we've had to split because the thing's gotten so damn big because it's been so successful
Hmm.
thanks to Jared Doucette's hard work. So he's a founding member of this tournament series.
Well, definitely Dave Firthbard takes the lion's share of the compliments there, but I've definitely been like his number two, helping him out with this stuff, and his wife Brooks also. We can't forget
Yeah,
her.
she's
She does a lot of hard work
very
during the
yeah,
old
yeah.
school events in the past. This is now I think the seventh official iteration of LobsterCon.
Yep,
We
it
had
is.
2018, 2019, skipped 2020 for COVID. We had a small one in 21, and then 22 to
Just
now
took off.
25. We just been blowing it out of the water.
Yeah.
So ever since the official big move to the Dante Alighieri, where we are in Cambridge, Massachusetts, we've just been going nuts. So yeah, like you said, last year we were just the victim of our own success. We were just like we were too big for the one space. So now we are splitting it up into the two formats, and I think we're learning stuff from this event, and we're gonna apply it for when we try it again next year. But I think we're going pretty good so far.
Excellent. Let's get into gameplay. We're rolling into round three. Oh goodness. You know this guy?
I do know Ian. I've played against him before. I definitely recognize the name. And
Yeah.
this I don't even know what to say of this deck. It's gonna draw a lot of cards is what I'm figuring.
Yeah. Gonna draw a lot of cards. So this is the pure Enchantress. Some of you have seen it in Legacy. There's been a couple standard seasons in the past, in contemporary Magic history where there have been, coarse approximations. It was once a pretty fearsome deck in Legacy, no, '07 through maybe 2010, but in pre-modern is where the purest form of the deck in its most concentrated, straight gut shot of Enchantress glory, mainlining you Enchantressing and drawing cards into your veins. Um, I honestly don't know that much of all the tech, but you play an Enchantress or an Enchantress's presence, you bang out some explorations, some wild growth, some elephant grass, Mary Skyle, draw some cards, and then you try to basically just not die with a solitary confinement lock and parallax wave, and then eventually you stick some opalescences, start swinging.
So I'm familiar with this deck because my co-host on the pre-modcast, Andrew Walker, basically mainlines this deck and that's it. So I've played many games against him over the years of playing some form of Enchantress, so very familiar with this. I like this build because it's like kind of a replenish build, and so like it can win a little faster if it needs to, as opposed to like just grinding out like words of war or words of winds or whatever those
Or
things.
replenishing back Seal of Fire.
Right,
Yeah, yeah.
exactly, over and over again or something like that. But this game, like you said, it just wants to not die, and then eventually this one has an opalescence win where it can just come big and swing hard. So this deck works because of the redundancy between Argothian Enchantress and Enchantress's presence. When you have those kind of when you have 8 copies of a similar effect, it's a
Yeah.
lot more potent. And like when you have 4 of something, you have an idea. When you have 8 of something, you have a deck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that makes a big
Yep.
difference.
Absolutely. Moving over here. Josh Kuchinskas on Tide Control. Uh, Formerly known as Landstill, but he's chosen to emphasize the tide situation here, trying to get some chain of vapors going on, some stifles. Um, Man, these parallax cards, they've really taken over the format.
They sure have. And I'll say this is actually a return to older tech because there was about, I think it was about 3 years ago now, when Parallax Tide was being put into Landstill,
Yep.
and it became all the rage, and people were like, "Oh, how are we ever gonna beat this?" And it was crushing tournaments. I think it was it Mike Eric Vaught or something like that. He's a Dutch guy, I want to say. He kind of like instilled it into the monthlies, and it was just dominating for like a solid 4 months, and then eventually it just kind of died out a little bit, but Parallax Tide's stock has continued to rise since then because it's obviously shown Replenish has really shot up, and then the mono blue version of this. But this is a control deck, but it also has a mana denial plan with the tides and the chains, like you said, and stifles, like you said.
So there's kind of a spectrum going on in pre-modern where you have Dreadnought as like the most aggressive version, and then maybe like blue-white Standstill as the most passive version. And there's some crossing of the threads here. You can have mono blue control with tides. Maybe they'll juke into dreadnoughts in the sideboard. You can have straight up standstill with decrees, what have you. And this seems to be something of a union between standstill and the mono blue tide control lists. I think this is more standstill plus tide than it is a tide deck plus white control cards.
So what this adding tide into this otherwise classic blue white control deck adds is a little bit of proactive kind of abilities to it, and that's huge. Like I just don't think you can just try to hope to win the game in pre-modern just by drawing cards and stopping the other person and trying to attack with Mishra's Factory 10 times.
Yep.
It can happen, but it's not very often. So like the tide is proactive and can shut the game, because if you give most opponents the time to rebuild, they're gonna find a way.
Yep. I think, let's roll into game one.
So should also know Ian was a top 8 last year.
Oh,
I think he was.
he's fearsome. Was he
Yes.
on Enchantress?
No, he was on Red Green Oath, I want to say Ponza Oath.
Is he primarily a old school player?
He's dabbled in both, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
But I definitely talked to him a bunch last year.
I
after
think
the
I
event.
think he sent me from 5-1 to 5-2 last year, and he crushed my dreams. Yep.
Yeah, Red Green Oath. That's
Yeah,
what I
we
thought.
played the Red Green Oath mirror, and he sent me home crying.
I'm gonna just put it out there. I don't know Josh that well, but I'm gonna guess one of the youngest people in this,
He is,
room
yeah.
today.
He actually plays locally to us in Worcester.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can actually follow him on his YouTube channel if you want to watch him tune up his tide control list. But he is he's a strong player. Definitely knows how to play the game. Most of these players are like harkening back to when they were in a more competitive era when they were younger. But Josh is just really leaning in straight from the get-go. Enchantress, draw a card.
I'm pretty sure this Elephant Grass isn't going to do much this game, but it's going to say draw a card for 1 mana.
Exactly.
It's going to cycle.
Yep,
basically.
just cycling.
And add to the count of enchantments if Sarah's Sanctum comes out. Like, so it's not totally just nothing, but like it just cycles is all it did.
Yeah, Ian declining to pay the cumulative upkeep cost.
Yeah, when you see blue and white on the other side, you don't think creature attackers,
Exactly.
necessarily.
Ian choosing Invasion Basic Forest for his choice.
I've always kind of liked those. I'm very soft
Oh, yeah.
for
It's a great
Invasion
looking
in
one.
general.
Yeah, within this format, we're generally a bit more sensitive to arts and frames because there's often so many prints of a lot of these cards. Some of them have been reprinted many dozens of times, so it's a very highly customizable format. It's not just, I got foil etched, serial numbered version of a card. It's like, nah, man, we're staying OG. Pick your basics for whatever era you started playing in. Oh, and Josh is playing Invasion Island, so we're staying topical.
That's right. And that his full art island, I forget where that one's from, but that with the little sailboat.
Yeah.
I forget, but that's an old one too.
I think that's APAC.
Those are the Apex? That's what I thought.
A beautiful choice.
And he's got
in
them
planes.
extended, which is really cool.
Good for him. We care about aesthetics here in Premodern. All right. Critical counterspell on the Enchantress's presence. That prevents the scaling. We got a Sterling Grove. If that resolves, that's a big deal. That's going to turn off Josh's seals. Josh will not be able to mess around too much with Chain of Vapor, interrupting any that steamrolling factor that Enchantress is so well known for. 2 blue mana up though.
Yeah, I'm sure Josh just wants to counter whatever the next thing. I mean, I don't think he cares too much about solitary confinement, is my guess.
I might even let that stick because it means that it's sort of like it's a wash with Enchantress, you know?
Oh, he's going to let the draw resolve, and then he counters it. Okay. Interesting.
Notably, Argothian Enchantress states that whenever you cast,
Yep.
so it does not use, is that the same templating for Presence?
Yes, they both
All
are
right.
cast triggers.
Yep. Tide's going to mess that wild growth all up. So no matter how this shakes out, that wild growth is gone. So he's getting at least some value.
Yeah, I think you just use it now. Oh, going to give him a chance to use it? Okay.
Mm.
I would have just taken the 2-for-1 there. So, or at least the 1-for-1.
Yeah.
I mean, if he's going to tap out for Tide, this must mean that maybe he doesn't even have the Stifle in hand because he didn't just go for it. I think he only had 1 Stifle in his deck. It wasn't many.
I think he missed a land drop. He has not been casting draw spells. He's just been sticking Mercadian Mask's counter spells.
True. So this also probably means he's got Seal of Cleansing in his hand because that would be a good use of it. But the whatchamacallit, the green-white
Sterling Grove.
Sterling Grove.
Yep.
That's just his. That just gives Shroud to his enchantments, right?
Correct.
It's not to all.
Correct.
Because a lot of these old cards would say all or something like that.
Yep.
Because that would be kind of funny if it kind of messed up his own Seal of Cleansing Parallax Tide combo.
All other enchantments you control. That's
Control.
right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that would have been kind of funny because.
Only use of a seal of cleansing per Josh right now is in the Tide combo,
which is pretty good.
Yeah, but that moment has not yet passed. But as he goes through a turn cycle, it's going to be maxed out. All right, Opalescence.
Are we starting the beatdown?
I think that's
2/2 beatdown with the Sterling Grove.
I think that's his only option, though. A Mishra's Factory stops that pretty slow. Oh, Josh doesn't even hesitate. Does not even hesitate.
Oh, Ian.
Josh was thinking it the whole. That was right on the money. Saw it right away. Oh, that's a free Sterling Grove, and that Sterling Grove was.
Ian's gonna go home tonight and be talking about that one. He's like, I just
rough one.
and the Chain of Vapor.
Yeah,
bye-bye.
Rough one to be caught on camera with.
Yeah.
Josh staying cold though.
This is that I was saying. All versus yours.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They definitely.
Yeah.
They don't make cards like that very often. It usually just affects your side.
Differential templating on the Sterling Grove and the Opalescence.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've played a lot of games against Josh, and he is very non-expressive at the table.
That's good for the player.
Yeah. Poker faced.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep. Good table game.
I'm just loving these full art Apex. Really like those.
So we've had previous 2 matches. We had baseball cap and beard players. Josh going hatless, clean shaven. You think that offers him an advantage?
I'm gonna guess his youth is gonna offer him an advantage just for not being just a tired old man like me and Ian probably. I don't know how old Ian is, but I know he's in his 30s at least.
Yeah. All right. Does get a Forest and a Miri Scowl. The thing about the Tide control lists is they're not very. Don't take too long. Yep. Opalescence means that Swords is live.
Swords became Demystify, and just a little bit better, I guess.
Yeah. That's it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Fetching.
I would say this Opalescence has been way better for Josh than it has been for Ian so far.
Yeah, among the worst Opalescences for a game state outcome.
Ian's not giving up though. He's gonna keep fighting this fight, but it doesn't look good so far.
And Josh also has a Wrath of God, which could become rather one-sided when the time comes.
You mean like that one?
Yeah, like that one.
First of all, can I just talk about these player rewards cards?
Yeah.
These were so cool that they did those back in I want to say the late aughts, early 2010s.
Yeah, about 08.
Yeah, I had the complete set of them. I got one of each of them.
Yeah,
and
I have a Damnation myself.
I love those. They got these full art foils. They had a Wrath. I think you said Damnation.
Yep.
There was a Lightning Bolt.
Yeah.
I want to say a Cryptic Command at one point.
Cryptic Command was a poor choice.
Yeah, that's a lot of words in that one. You know?
Yep.
It was really cool art. They had
beautiful
these, hands going, but
those
those were some of the best things. They were just Let's do this. Actually, there's an altarist in our kind of old school community. Name's Mitch. He goes by MG Altars. He just posted in our New England Old School group that he did a commission for someone to do an Armageddon, but
Yep.
like a full art players reward
So
style.
sick.
I was like, that's awesome. Makes me want to do it, but then it's like, oh, when you're paying a real altarist, it's multiple
Yeah.
hundreds per. So it's
Sure.
like,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah, yeah.
I wish I could afford it, but it looks really good. And I just really love those. What do you think we're debating here? Probably just life totals.
I don't think life totals. I think they might be talking about. I mean, I'm gonna guess it's probably more about opalescence.
Oh, it looks like they're talking to somebody.
About what?
It looks like they were both talking to somebody. There was somebody
Oh
that
no,
just walked
it's
in.
their player position, is where the judge would be at the foot of that table. So if you see them facing kind of angle towards, that means that they got a judge call and the judge
That's what
is
I'm thinking.
on the other side of the
Yeah,
camera.
that's what I was saying. They were talking to somebody.
Oh,
Yeah,
to
yeah,
somebody,
yeah.
like not a
And
mutual friend.
yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not much room on the LobsterCon stage this year for extra people.
Yep.
So
Josh showing a little bit more animation. I think that is gonna. I would just get rid of this opalescence right away. Just like it's caused too many problems. Your best chance is
maybe
just.
he's hoping the
I
steel's
I
gonna take
hate
on a factory,
opalescence.
but it's
Yeah.
you're right. The opalescence hasn't been great for him. But again, this turns on Josh's swords, which is
Yeah.
kind of funny.
Yep.
Oh, here's some 1/1s.
Get ourselves a decree of some size. I'm thinking three soldiers.
Looks like 3. And draw a card.
Ian's at 11. So what do we got here? That's 1, 2, 3.
4? Oh, it's an
Oh.
angel. That was a main phase angel. Wow. Okay, I guess flying is important. All right, there we go. Now we got the shroud back on. But this is a 3-turn clock on the attack.
I think that this was a good choice to go for angels because it's a deck full of enchantments. He doesn't want to trifle with trying to rumble through a bunch of 2/2s.
Right. Yeah. All of his creatures are going to be all of Ian's creatures are going to be on the ground. Now, I wonder if we're going to see this Sterling Grove go get something like a Parallax Wave to deal with the angel. But also, Josh has a bunch of untapped mana.
Opal Wave, indeed. Oh yeah, a wave will just get rid of that angel outright.
Right. Just blink it. But he's just going to have to tap down for it. Actually, you should probably block there and make him pump it and then kill it anyway. I mean, just so he'd have one. Now he has one more untapped mana. Like he still has FOF mana up. Or
Yeah,
that.
tied. Yeah.
Or that.
Yeah. Yep.
So actually, again, another one where if you just make him block, make him pump, then he doesn't have that down. Yeah, this Tide's a brutal card.
We do have a Serra Sanctum, so I don't know if that's going to offer him any big options.
I mean, just
Yep.
pack it up, Ian.
Scoops it up.
Ian's realizing just not his time right there. So, all right, let's go to the next game, and hopefully we can see Ian have a nice little bounce back here. But Josh, well played. I gotta say, I've never watched him play before, but that was quick and tactical, and really good.
Pretty cunning. Let's see here. What do I like? I like Xanad Swarm, and I like Carpet of Flowers.
Yes, because the Sacred Ground doesn't do anything against the Tide because it's destroy, right?
Yep.
That's good against like Geddon. Karmic Justice, probably not what you're looking for.
Web can be a pain in the tuchus.
Yes, Web can be something. I mean, because what's he taking out is the other question. This is where I don't. I mean, Elephant Grass is gone, so there's 3.
Grass Worship. Maybe
Yeah.
Grass Worship Confinement, honestly.
So that's 5. So then I could definitely see bringing in, like you said, at least we're looking at maybe 6 cards to bring in.
Sure.
Because you need the wave for part of your combo. Like you need definitely the seals. You still want those. Mirag's Guile basically helps you smooth.
Everything else is just structural. It's possible that you like trim Amiri's Guile. I don't know. You tend to have longer games against Tide decks. So you get a lot of activations out of it.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think, Jay? Do you fear Sabos Web on land still? Yeah. It is problematic, but it's not that big of a deal. It's just inconvenient. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Meanwhile, Josh gets to take a look. I think a null is a good one
I've
here.
heard that's good against enchantments.
Yeah, yeah, that's the big one. A null and possibly mage here.
Could see
You can
mage.
name replenish if you want to. I definitely buy that.
Yeah, because the
Yeah,
fairy's response, I don't
yeah,
think we're looking for.
yep,
I think you leave in your current 2 wraths just to deal with the Argothians.
yep.
But 2's enough. You don't need 4.
I could
Um,
see taking out swords.
I think you take. I think swords is the first one to go
Yeah,
because it worked out well there.
yeah,
But like,
that was atypical.
that's when that's the kind of time when you're sideboarding where you're like, oh, that worked out. That card worked out really well in that game.
Yep.
Do I leave these in? And you're like, no. Like his creatures naturally have shrouds, so like I should not keep these in. It just worked out well with the opalescence that like I
Yeah.
benefit from. So you can't like it worked out well that game and just try again. No, I think you definitely take those out.
I don't think it would have played the opalescence without getting a Sterling Grove first.
Right.
Yeah, that was a major motivation for getting the opalescence in.
Yeah. Then he
Yeah.
binned it by attacking, which was
Yep.
just.
Yeah.
Again, Ian's going to be hopefully move past that one quickly, and just get ready for the next game.
I think I'm seeing some dice indicating this
I
first
mean, I guess that
mulligan.
means he mulliganed once.
Yeah, that's been some of the consensus here.
All right. I think typically speaking, isn't Enchantress typically like favored against control?
I think it is just being able to like stick. Excuse me. Just being able to stick early acceleration or an early Miri Scout so quickly,
And
then
card
just,
draw, like they draw more. They're
Yeah.
definitely gonna draw more
yeah,
cards.
it's really like, can they get rid of an Enchantress? Well, like it's not gonna be till turn 4. They could have drawn 4 cards by then,
Right.
and they don't even need to get them to resolve.
Right.
They just got to put them on the stack. Right,
Looks
one
like
to
that
the
was one
bottom.
mulligan.
We
How
got
do
an
you feel about
Enchantress.
numbered dice versus the dice with the little like tick marks on them?
I prefer tick marks, but
Me too.
on a stream, I actually I find that
I've always noticed like like the Pro Tour or whatever does like the normal numbered dice. But I've always liked the tick marks. I just think it's
yeah,
sometimes it's a little easier to see, but like maybe on a stream the definitive black on white like on just pops a little better.
yeah,
I just have to think. It also depends how good the dice are.
yeah. If they're clear enough, we do have jumbo size streaming dice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is that what they're called? Streaming dice?
I don't know. That's what we call them.
It wouldn't surprise me if they like marketed them as
Sure.
streaming dice.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, hell yeah. Turn 1 Xanatorm. Love to see it. Turn 2 Library. Going way ahead.
Ooh.
I don't know how I feel about this one. I think I might just draw a million cards, stick a Sarah Sanctum, and go off king. Especially with a exploration. I think I got a couple cards in hand here, a couple lands. Yeah, I think you
You just pop it. What's he? How many
well,
cards?
he's got an Enchantress. You just jam it,
I think
dog.
you just jam it. You're gonna
Yeah.
draw more cards. Than
Oh
them.
yeah.
I'm guessing that standstill was freshly signed by Heather Hudson, who's here today at LobsterCon 2025.
I hope so.
Yeah. Pretty sweet having the artists here. We also got RK Post and Pete Venters, who I just got my Dreadnoughts and my Survivals Shadow Sig signed by him, and they are cool. They look really good. I was debating with my podcast co-host Mike Harris about should we get the Dreadnought signed, like because I don't really feel like playing it right now. It's like playing the best deck isn't really my thing, but like man, they just look good.
They do look good.
Just look good.
That rich brassy brown
Yeah.
in the artifact frame. Some of the Posca paint markers really pop.
For sure. Is that a Adakar waist?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
I haven't seen that art before.
Yeah. I
Like
think he's considering a chain. I think he's considering chaining back the Sylvan Library, but that doesn't, or the Xantatorm.
I mean, the Xanthostorm's a problem, that's for sure.
Oh yeah. Chain that back. Nothing to sack and bounce back. Stand still.
Okay.
Sure, man.
You're gonna draw more cards, but you're not gonna have answered
Yeah.
the Xanthus for very long.
Yep.
Because he doesn't. Josh doesn't play any free counter spells. There's no Force of Will in this format, and you don't play foil or daze in this
Yeah.
blue white control list.
3 lands with on top. We got an exploration.
Oh, but he's got a Windswept Teeth in hand, which is one of
Oh,
my
yeah.
favorite little interactions. It's
Yep.
just the shuffle brainstorm kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Sterling Grove.
Mm.
Sterling Grove in hand. Yep. Fetching.
Yeah, don't want any more of those. Don't want to draw any more lands. You got Sarah Sanctum and 2 Force. You're pretty good. Ooh, went for another forest.
Electing for another beautiful invasion forest.
I think they're foil too.
You think so?
I think so.
Ah.
Wait, I don't see the little shooting star.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Maybe
But they look great, though.
they do look good.
Is that a Biblioteca Silvestre or a Sylvan Library?
I think it's a Biblioteca.
I think it's a Biblioteca. So electing for the all black border where he can get it. I don't think he's got any white border, so his deck's looking great. Demonstrating his superior frame choice.
2 white, using 1 and 1 to cast. Sterling Grove. Yep. Pop.
Yep. Yep. Sorting out the stack.
Yeah.
Standstill and the cast
goes
trigger.
first.
Yep.
Right.
Got 2 cast triggers. Yep.
But the old app
wait.
nap or whatever.
Shouldn't it resolve in AppNap?
Right. So
yeah, so Ian was
active-
supposed to draw first.
No.
Oh,
'cause
it
he
enters
active
the
player.
stack.
Right.
Okay, so AppNap is the way it enters the stack.
Yeah.
Yep. Ooh, Miri's Guile off the top. You love to see it. Keep this chain running. And he's got
the
a
one-
white
yeah.
and a green. Is he going to expose himself to a Wrath? That's the question. Oh, Xana's for him.
I mean, he is. I mean,
Yeah.
this would be a juicy Wrath.
But he's got another Enchantress right away, so.
Yeah.
And he'll be tapped out after the Wrath, so that Enchantress is going to stick. And that's 1 sweeper down.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually think I don't really mind getting Wrath here. I might care about getting
What about
Waved.
him or Humility? Or okay, Tided. Here we go.
Yeah, Tide. But he's got another Sarah Sanctum, so it can be bad, but yep. So he's looking for the Stifle line here. Chain.
The other sword just says they can't cast spells, right?
Correct.
For the rest of the turn after it attacks, and it
Yep.
not blocked or
Just it's an attack trigger.
just an attack trigger.
Yep.
They just need to attack. Doesn't need to like be unblocked or anything. Yeah.
Nope.
Just attacks. Oh, he had to pitch the discard or the
Hand size.
hand size.
Yeah. That's one of the best ways to move through a standstill is play in a manner such that your opponent has to discard to hand size. It lessens the blow a bit.
Yeah, I mean they still get the better of the cards, but like
Yeah.
you're right. When they have to pitch 1 or 2, it doesn't feel quite as bad. We're just debating between a Brushland, a Sarah Sanctum, and I want to say another Sterling Grove. Is that what that was?
Yeah, I think I like he already has a Sanctum in hand, so we've seen all 3 Sanctums.
Yeah, so he didn't draw that one. So
Yeah.
he's going to go for the second Sterling Grove to kind of, really put the lock on. Also worth noting, it's got the Exploration, so he can play 2 lands right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he's I think you just got to keep jamming.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I've talked about this before. I think the podcast was a while ago, but I think Exploration, they could have screwed up that card by making it like 3 mana.
Yeah.
And it's just like useless.
Yep.
But they said, let's push it. And they made a very good card, don't get me wrong.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
like it's basically unplayable at any other number other than 1. Like
Yeah.
maybe 2 it's playable, but like 3 mana it's definitely not playable,
Correct.
But like
Yeah.
Exploration, they said let's go full tilt boogie and just kind of like see where this goes. And it was Urza, so obviously they pushed everything during that time. But I think they made a strong but card that breaks the fundamental rule of Magic of 1 land per turn.
Yes.
Unless you were a camper with me in like 1997, where we used to play
Mana dump.
what do we called it, fast mana hot hands, where you could play all your lands at first, and if you ever had 0 cards in hand, you just got to draw 7.
Amazing.
That was one of those when you were first
Yeah, yeah.
learning Magic kind of rules.
Yeah.
It's just funny.
Josh choosing his untapped tech. Interesting. So that was one of the Time Lock style tides, looking to restrict him from going too big.
Interesting. Ian also didn't play any lands for his own turn. Oops, sorry, get the call. Didn't expect this. Oh, that's the wife calling. Okay, I'll give the caller back in a second. Let's get through the game.
Live stream speakerphone with Miss Doucette.
Yes. I think that means my son either just woke up for a nap or they're on their way to come visit, which is going to be exciting.
That'll be exciting.
Yeah.
You can get some cards signed by him.
He doesn't have the finger dexterity yet. He's still putting them in his mouth.
Yeah, do
Yeah.
some
Just handprints.
the handprints off the ink pads.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Josh sticking a tide, doing his clever tricks, playing with the stack, chaining. Is he gonna sack a land to bounce something back to his hand? What's even worth? Nope. We got Sterling Grove.
Put some mana in.
Yeah. Don't. There we go.
There we go.
Avoids the game rule violation.
Just gonna use the mana to search. That's interesting.
Yeah.
What's he want?
What does he want? Some big white spell, because he's got the Sanctum in hand. Aura of Silence. So Josh has chained the tide back to hand. Entered a time warp, but we're back. Josh has, yeah.
Ooh, Aura of Silence.
Yeah,
Okay.
Aura of Silence goes on top.
Wonder why.
He's got Sanctum in hand, and I think it's a good mono white enchantment that protects him. The thing is, Josh chained the tide back to his hand, so he's gonna.
So he can't play it again. Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he could make land drop Tide, but it commits him to the Stifle hand. And what's funny is if you have both Stifle and Chain on the Tide, you do the chain line first.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if Josh is in the market for a single land Tide though. Zero mana floating, but a land drop remaining. I think he's gonna chill for a second to see if Josh has another land drop. Kind of gesturing a little bit, considering his attacks. 10. I mean, he could go aggro.
What's that thing?
Oh, that's a Dust Bowl, and that's
Okay.
a dead Sarah Sanctum.
Well, he's got the third in his hand, doesn't he? Or he had it on top of his library.
I think
at some
so.
point.
Yeah. And here's the thing with the Tide Dust Bowl decks, is that you might be in a situation where you might want to hang out. Two. What is that? That's a Meddling Mage.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Poor Pakula.
Yeah.
He's just no longer even on there anymore.
I know.
Is that the most reprinted of the invitational cards? I feel like.
I don't know.
I feel like I've seen the most versions of that are
Yeah.
him.
I am not sure. I know there's
Probably quite a few Snapcasters at this point.
Yeah. Don't know. Some of the older cards, the licensing issues with the art, you don't always get
Right.
the OG art
Right.
for some of these old cards.
Oh, cool. That's why she called me. All right. All right. I'll be right down in a second. Thank you. Well, Billy, can you take this for a little bit? Or Jay, do you want to jump in? Okay, wife's coming to visit, so I'm gonna go say hi to her and my son Owen, who is all 4.5 months old, and just see how she's doing. But
Yeah.
I'll hopefully be back in a little bit, and good luck to our players here. Also, really good job with these the Meddling Mage tokens, by the way,
yeah.
guys. I don't know who did that, but
Yeah.
All right, I'll be back.
All right. So Jared going off. And good news for you, viewers. Jay McCowan, who's played plenty of land still in his day, is going to come and rescue this. He's got all these technical plays. Jay, have a seat, but stow us with your knowledge. What do you know?
Oh, how's it going, everybody? Well, we're attacking with those Xanad Swarm, so that's
It's a good start.
good start. So, I mean, I guess
Who do you think's favored in this position?
so let me see. So we got a Meddling Mage on Replenish. We've got Draw Engine going for Ian. I'm assuming Ian was just
Tided.
tided.
Sure was.
Definitely, I mean, a couple of 1-mana spells, and Ian's able to draw right back into this game, it seems like, would be my thinking. But Josh definitely does have a head start here.
Yeah. Ian's not going to be able to dig too deep with the Sylvan Library. Josh can threaten, turn that factory sideways, turn the Fairy Conclave sideways, Meddling Mage on board, and just, he can threaten a kill pretty quick.
For sure,
And
for sure.
force the issue on Ian. Maybe get into a real rotten situation where he has to start chumping with his Xanad Swarm, or the nightmare situation of chumping with your Enchantress. Everybody hates to do it.
Yeah, this is definitely, well, so we're going to activate the Dust Bowl here and just try and keep Ian pinned on mana.
I think he's bowling, and I think he's going to swing with that mage.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, he's got enough mana to stand up factory, and I think this is the line. It's fairly clear the line that Josh is going for.
Josh recognizes that he has the advantage right now, and it makes full sense to push it.
Yeah.
He keep Ian as denied as possible. You know, it's very easy when you're playing these control decks to, especially more traditional lands still, you want it to sit back and play as controlling as possible until you got your opponent into an absolute chokehold. But the tide control decks, they're much more action dense.
Okay.
So you definitely can take a more aggressive line in more games. And Josh is doing that. You know, he put his opponent on the back foot with the tide, and now keep him there. Activate those Dust Bowls, swing with those man lands, press your advantage.
Ian's in a funny spot here because so many of his white mana sources are non-basic. He's got the 4 brush land, and then he's hit all 3 of his Serra Sanctums. It's just those Serra Sanctums can be so explosive, but he doesn't have the green mana to capitalize on it.
So we are paying 4 there off the Sylvan Library. Now, Miri's Guile and Sylvan Library, for the most part, you can't do anything fun between the 2 of them, right? There's no, you know, it's really
fetch
just
between them.
you can fetch between. Okay, now I take that back.
Yep.
Yes, you can fetch between the triggers. Ian, though, sorely lacking any sort of shuffle mechanic. And I know we picked up, I think it was a Sterling Grove and maybe one other card. But I don't know if he was paying 4 there because he actually needed the extra cardboard, or if he was just looking to get a card deeper into his deck to try and find something.
Yeah, we're looking at a double chump here.
But
Enchantress and it. Oh wait, actually no, this is lethal. Yep.
Yeah. So.
Oh!
Crack the.
I forgot about the aura.
The aura.
Damn.
But we are looking for something.
No
mana.
Did not elect to Dust Bowl.
Yeah.
All right. We got the GGs from Ian Hendry. Sticks his hand out like a proper gentleman. Rocking his Philly Eagles fit. And taking the L.
Yeah, so Josh is going to advance to 3-0. And honestly, very impressive. I've played against Josh a couple of times in... I am not Jared Doucette, by the way. Don't anybody... That man is a man who is on his shit. So
he's also much better.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Don't worry about it. I just don't want people to get any ideas. Like, oh, I've heard great things about this Jared Doucette guy. No, it's not me. But yeah, Josh... For a young kid, obviously playing a format where the majority of the cards, or all of the cards probably, are older than he is, he very, very skillful navigation.